Hello, everyone. King Charles has made a surprising decision that's turning heads. He's allowing Prince George to skip military service, a long-standing tradition for male royals. While this may seem like a major break from royal protocol, there's more to the story. At just 11 years old, George is already setting himself apart, shaping a future where he could either redefine the monarchy or fade into history. One thing is clear. Prince George isn't following the usual royal mold. If the monarchy expected him to fit a traditional role, that idea is already crumbling. By stepping away from military service, he's making a bold statement. His journey to the throne will be different. But is this a sign of modern progress, or is the young prince underestimating the weight of tradition? Forget everything you think you know about royalty and tradition. The royal family is evolving, and the next generation is no exception. Prince George's newfound freedom to pursue his own interests without the obligation of military service marks a bold shift from centuries of royal precedent. Unlike Prince Charles, Prince William, and many heirs before them, who were expected to complete military training before ascending the throne, George's path could look entirely different. That said, it's important to remember that he is still growing up under the influence of his father, Prince William, and his grandfather, King Charles. Both men have followed the traditional royal path: military service, duty to the crown, and a deep commitment to charitable work. But George is proving to be more than just a reflection of the past. He's shaping his own future, and it's becoming increasingly clear that he doesn't need to follow in anyone's footsteps to leave his mark. Forget military service. Prince George's true passion might be something much more delicious. That's right, the future King of England could be heading toward the culinary world. During a visit to a historic restaurant in Norfolk, George was captivated by a wood-fired pizza oven, excitedly declaring, "That's what I want to do when I grow up." Now, before anyone gets carried away, let's take a moment to process this surprising revelation. A royal heir with dreams of becoming a chef? While his father, Prince William, once piloted rescue helicopters, and his mother, Catherine, worked a part-time retail job before becoming the Princess of Wales, George seems to be carving out an entirely different path. Just imagine the headlines: Prince George, the royal chef, serving up pizza with a side of monarchy. Some may dismiss this as just a childhood whim, but there's a sense that his love for cooking could be the beginning of something much bigger. Perhaps this future king will bring a whole new flavor to the monarchy. This new direction reflects the royal family's ongoing effort to modernize and connect with everyday people. After all, what could be more relatable than a future king in an apron, tossing pizza dough in a bustling kitchen? It's a world away from formal military parades and stiff royal engagements. But let's be clear, this isn't just about George picking up a trendy hobby. It's about a young boy determined to carve out his own identity beyond the weight of tradition. Does this signal a monarchy where individuality takes precedence over conformity? Possibly. But cooking isn't George's only interest. During a visit to the Wales Air Ambulance headquarters, he also shared his dream of flying helicopters, just like his father did as a pilot for the East Anglian Air Ambulance. Talk about ambition! It seems George isn't just looking to follow in Prince William's footsteps. He might be planning to soar even higher. The future King of England can't exactly become a full-time helicopter pilot, but with his passions for both aviation and cooking, Prince George is proving he's not your typical royal heir. He's carving out a path that blends modern interests with the historical weight of his position. In a time when some question the monarchy's relevance, George's ability to move between such different worlds, from the kitchen to the cockpit, could help secure the royal family's place in the hearts of future generations. Prince George, isn't just an heir waiting for his turn. He's a young prince with ambitions of his own. His love for cooking and aviation reveals a curious mind eager to explore and break free from expectations. And let's not forget that this freedom was made possible by King Charles, who has allowed his grandson to skip the traditional military route. Could this be a turning point for the monarchy? Are we witnessing the rise of a new kind of royal, one defined not by tradition, but by individuality? Prince George's passions and talents could redefine what it means to be a royal heir in the modern age. With interests ranging from aviation to the culinary arts, his future could hold anything from piloting helicopters to running a restaurant empire, but what truly sets him apart is his willingness to challenge royal tradition. Unlike his predecessors, he isn't simply following the expected path, he's shaping his own story. In a time when the monarchy is often criticized as outdated and disconnected, George's freedom to explore his own interests feels like a breath of fresh air. Whether he's in the kitchen, the skies, or somewhere else entirely, one thing is clear. He's determined to forge his own path, one that could shape the future of the royal family. Of course, it's still too early to know exactly where this journey will take him. Will he follow his culinary dreams? Will he eventually take to the skies as a pilot? Whether Prince George becomes a helicopter pilot or surprises us with an entirely different path, one thing is certain. He's laying the groundwork for a royal future that balances tradition with modernity. He's not just the heir to the throne. He's a young boy with his own dreams and aspirations. The freedom he has to pursue these passions may make the monarchy feel more relatable and human than ever before. King Charles's decision to let George explore his interests before fully stepping into his royal role isn't just a break from protocol. It's a sign of a monarchy that's ready to evolve with the times. For the first time in history, the royal family is embracing the idea that royal duty can go hand in hand with personal fulfillment. If George is any indication, the future of the British monarchy could be in the hands of a young prince, unafraid to challenge tradition and create his own legacy. As he grows older, we'll surely see more of him, whether in the kitchen, the cockpit, or beyond. Whether in the kitchen, the cockpit, or somewhere completely unexpected, one thing is certain. Prince George is not bound by the same rules as those who came before him. This could be the key to ensuring the monarchy's future for generations to come. It's becoming clear that the future of the British monarchy may not be as predictable as many once thought, and much of this change can be traced back to Prince George's upbringing. In a time when the royal family often faces criticism for sticking to centuries-old traditions, George's emerging traits reflect a shift in what it means to be a royal heir today. A big part of this change comes from the values his parents, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, have instilled in him. Their thoughtful approach to parenting emphasizes raising a child who is grounded, compassionate, and intelligent. When considering the future of the monarchy, it's important to recognize the influence of Prince George's parents, who have shaped him to be ready for whatever comes next. Prince William and Catherine have remained deeply committed to instilling a sense of duty, empathy, and intellect in their children. Their approach to parenting strikes a delicate balance between royal responsibility and personal freedom, setting the stage for George to be more than just a symbol of the monarchy. Through their guidance, George is learning how to engage with the world beyond the palace walls and how to take on his royal duties with true sincerity. The couple has made a conscious effort to ensure that their children, especially George, are exposed to the wider world and not just the world of privilege that often surrounds them. From their choice of schools to their charity work, Prince William and Catherine have shown a steadfast commitment to creating an environment where their children can grow into thoughtful, socially aware individuals. In doing so, they've set an example that could inspire not only future generations of royals, but also people outside the royal family. When discussing George's future, it's impossible to overlook the significant influence of his parents' values. Prince William and Catherine are not just royal figures. They are parents who are deeply committed to instilling the right values in their children. This is reflected not only in George's growing interest in various fields, but also in his thoughtful approach to the world around him. While many may have expected George to follow a more traditional royal path, one focused on military service and formal duties, he is charting a different course, one shaped by the values his parents have instilled in him. While royal duties are important, George's diverse interests reflect a broader understanding of the world. He is not just being shaped to fit into a centuries-old system. Instead, he is being taught to engage with the world on his own terms, to think critically, and to follow his own passions. One of the most significant aspects of Prince George's upbringing is how his parents have allowed him the space to explore different avenues of interest. Unlike most heirs to the throne, who would have been expected to focus solely on royal duties, George's parents have given him the freedom to pursue his curiosity. Whether it's in the kitchen, the cockpit, or in other pursuits that may emerge in the future, their progressive approach speaks volumes about their belief in personal growth and self-discovery. Prince George's ability to explore his interests represents a shift in how the royal family is positioning itself in the modern age. This sense of empowerment is a clear reflection of the values his parents are instilling in him. The care and attention Prince George's parents have given him ensure he has the tools to succeed in any field he chooses. It's not just about what he's doing now, but how he is being shaped to think about the future. Unlike many royal heirs who were bound by the conventions of their time, George has been given the freedom to think beyond tradition's constraints. Whether he pursues a career in aviation, the culinary arts, or takes a completely unexpected path, George will have a strong foundation to make those choices with intelligence and insight. But George's choices aren't only driven by curiosity. They are also guided by a deep sense of empathy and compassion. This is where the influence of his parents becomes even more clear. Both Prince William and Catherine have consistently emphasized the importance of philanthropy, service, and community engagement. From William's charity work to Catherine's advocacy for mental health, the couple has shown that being royal isn't about living in a gilded cage. It's about using their position to make a positive impact in the world. Using one's position to create meaningful change in society is an approach to royal duty that George is undoubtedly learning. This is evident in his growing desire to make a positive impact on the world around him. For example, George's curiosity about aviation may not just be a fascination with flying helicopters, but an understanding of how such work serves the public. After all, both his father and grandfather have been involved in professions that require skill and responsibility, from military service to flying helicopters for the East Anglian Air Ambulance. In this way, George's interest in aviation could very well tie into the family's long tradition of public service. It's a reminder that even in his youthful curiosity, George isn't detached from the core values of the monarchy. Instead, he's finding his own unique way to express them. At such a young age, George's ability to recognize the importance of service reveals a depth of intelligence and understanding that will undoubtedly guide him as he grows. The royal family role is more than just about formal events. It's about genuinely caring for others. George's interest in cooking and flying shows his understanding of the importance of skill, dedication, and care. He's not just following the tradition. He's blending his family's values with his own path. Prince William and Catherine's hands-on parenting approach also affects how they manage their children's public roles. Despite their status, they've worked hard to protect their children from unwanted media attention, allowing them to enjoy a normal upbringing. This careful balance of privacy and public duty is something that may benefit George in the future. It's easy to see why Prince George has such a bright future ahead. He has been raised with care and kindness, giving him the chance to think for himself and understand his role in the world. Whether he chooses to be in the kitchen, fly a plane, or pursue something completely different, one thing is certain: George will be ready to lead in his unique way. When it's time for him to take on his royal responsibilities, he will do so with confidence, empathy, and intelligence, making sure he is more than just a figurehead. The monarchy is evolving, and Prince George is at the heart of this transformation. Thanks to the thoughtful guidance of his parents, he is being prepared not just to navigate the pressures of royal life, but to shape the institution itself in a way that reflects modern values. His ability to honor tradition while embracing personal ambition will likely define his reign and leave a lasting legacy for generations to come. At just 11 years old, Prince George already carries the responsibility of the future, yet his natural grace and curiosity suggest he is more than ready for the challenge. The modern world expects a new kind of leadership, and under the careful influence of Prince William and Catherine, George is poised not only to meet those expectations, but to surpass them. His reign could mark the beginning of a new chapter for the royal family, one that seamlessly blends heritage with progress. If the past few years have proven anything, it's that Prince George, despite his young age, is already showing the qualities of a future king who will honor tradition while paving the way for generations to come. His upbringing marks a clear shift from the rigid customs that once defined royal life. Prince William and Catherine understand the importance of allowing their children to grow as individuals. Unlike many heirs before him, George is not being confined by an outdated sense of duty that prioritizes obligation over personal fulfillment. Instead, he is encouraged to explore his passions, from cooking to aviation, proving that the royal family represents more than privilege and power. It embodies progress and relatability. Prince George is being raised with the understanding that being a future monarch is about more than just carrying out royal duties. It's about leading with empathy, intelligence, and a genuine connection to the people he will one day serve. Prince George's upbringing is shaping him into a future monarch with a genuine connection to the world around him. Rather than being sheltered within the royal bubble, he is encouraged to engage with people from all walks of life. His parents, Prince William and Catherine, have instilled in him the values of charity and public service, setting an example that goes beyond mere duty. George's growing interests, from his fascination with flying helicopters to his newfound love of cooking, highlight his natural curiosity and desire to interact with the world in a meaningful way. These are not just hobbies. They reflect a deeper understanding of service, care, and contribution to society. Values that define true leadership. Prince George is not simply waiting for the day he takes the throne. He already recognizes the responsibilities that come with his position. Even something as simple as his passion for cooking speaks volumes about his character, showing that he is not content to remain on the sidelines, but is eager to engage, learn, and make a difference. Just as his father, Prince William, served as a helicopter pilot for the East Anglian Air Ambulance, Prince George's own interest in aviation suggests he, too, will find ways to serve others, no matter how unconventional. This reflects a broader, more progressive vision for the monarchy, where leadership is not just about tradition, but about a genuine commitment to making a difference. At a time when the monarchy is often criticized for being outdated or disconnected from modern values, George represents a new generation of royals who can bridge the past and the future. His interests, personality, and the values instilled in him by his parents show that he will not merely inherit the throne as a figurehead, but embrace the role of a leader who understands and responds to the needs of the people. In today's world, sitting on the throne is not enough to earn respect. True leadership requires action, empathy, and a willingness to evolve. Prince George is already showing signs that he will rise to that challenge, shaping the monarchy into something more relevant and meaningful for the future. A monarch must be more than a symbol of history. They must actively shape the future. With his intelligence, empathy, and diverse interests, Prince George is well prepared for that role. For years, the royal family has faced criticism for being out of touch with everyday life. However, with George leading the next generation, it's clear that the monarchy is becoming more connected to the people it serves. His ability to balance tradition with modern values will be one of his greatest strengths as he steps into his future role. As Prince George navigates the complexities of his future role, he does so with a freedom that previous generations of royals rarely had. While royal duty once limited personal pursuits, his parents have encouraged him to explore and grow. However, this freedom comes with a deep sense of responsibility, something George seems to understand instinctively. He recognizes that the monarchy is not about privilege for its own sake, but about using one's position to create a meaningful impact. In this way, George represents hope for the future of the monarchy. He embodies a new era, one that values personal growth, genuine service, and leadership rooted in empathy and understanding. His wide-ranging interests are more than just hobbies. They reflect a well-rounded individual who is aware of the world's complexities. His love of cooking, fascination with aviation, and commitment to contributing to society all point to a future king who will lead with intelligence, compassion, and a true dedication to service. Prince George has the potential to reshape the monarchy in profound ways. He represents a new kind of royal, one who respects tradition but is not confined by it, finding ways to blend modern values with the legacy of the crown. His parents' influence is evident in his perspective on the world and his natural curiosity, and empathy will serve him well as he prepares for future leadership. George is more than just a future king. He is the future of the British monarchy itself. With him at the helm, the institution is poised to thrive for generations to come. As he grows, so too will the monarchy's ability to evolve and adapt to a rapidly changing world. His skill in balancing tradition with progress makes him the ideal leader for an era that demands not just a figurehead, but a monarch who understands and responds to the needs of society. Though still young, George is already showing the maturity and intelligence that will define his reign. His journey is just beginning, but it's clear he is destined to lead with purpose, strength, and a deep connection to the people he will one day serve. Prince George is on the path to becoming an exceptional king, one who will guide the royal family into the future with grace, empathy, and wisdom. The monarchy has found its beacon in him, and there is no doubt that he will shine brightly as the leader the institution needs. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Prince George's future and his remarkable potential, be sure to hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more updates on the royal family. There's so much more to come, and you won't want to miss it.